I've been obsessed with Pennywise ever since that iconic Georgie scene in the 2017 movie. The paper boat floating down the rainy street. The innocent chatter from the storm drain. You will float too. And then the sudden brutal snap of his arm disappearing into the sewer. It is still one of the most shocking openings in horror. A perfect gut punch that captures everything great about Stephen King's It. That blend of childhood vulnerability and ancient unknowable evil. Chapter 1 felt damn near flawless to me, nailing the dread and the heart. Chapter 2 had killer adult performances, but it got bloated and lost some of that raw terror.
No, he's got a point.
Still, when they announced Welcome to Derry, a prequel series set in the 60s, diving deeper into the town's curse with new stories, I was hooked. I imagined dusty carnivals, early 1900s circus tents, a human Bob Gray, charming crowds in grease paint before the entity claimed him, luring kids with red balloons into the shadows. More Pennywise origins. Sign me the hell up. I was ready to float all over again. And holy hell, the first 2 episodes absolutely delivered on that promise. Episode 1 starts with pure creeping unease. Young Maddie sneaking into the Capitol Theater, getting caught, hitching a ride that spirals into nightmare territory with obsessed families and monstrous births. It is brutal and sets the tone perfectly. We meet the kids investigating disappearances. Lily, Ronnie, Marge, and the others. While the town simmers with secrets, and Pennywise's glimpses build that classic dread. Then episode 2 cranks it up, vulnerable teens biking through the barrens, classic King summer innocence clashing with sudden violence at the storm drains, and a nighttime theater massacre where shadows come alive and kids get yanked into horrors on screen. Those deaths are merciless. Bill Skarsgard's Pennywise feels truly menacing in those early moments, lurking just enough to hook you. I was all in, thinking this might be the best horror series in years. But then episode 3 rolls in, and the writers decide to reinvent the wheel with a completely new mythology that King never touched. Suddenly, we're dealing with glowing deadlight shards buried under Derry, acting like kryptonite to the entity. Indigenous wards and runes sealing it in. Psychic military experiments tying it into Cold War paranoia. It is ambitious, sure, but it shifts the focus from intimate psychological childhood terror to this grand, convoluted cosmic epic, complete with artifacts, visions, and powered-up soldiers.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000!
What started as grounded dread starts feeling like a superhero story grafted onto it. The middle stretch, episode 4 through 6, really drags with that expansion. Heavy political subplots, Cold War tensions, characters staring mournfully at old photos or delivering speeches while the actual horror takes a prolonged break.
Fuck.
Pennywise barely appears. Minutes at most across multiple hours. And when he does, confrontations get undercut by glowing MacGuffins repelling him like some magical sewer rock. Since when does the primal embodiment of fear back down from jewelry? The CGI has its moments of eerie pop, but other gore scenes feel rushed or inconsistent, pulling you out with unintentional awkwardness. Things pick up a bit in episode 7 and 8. But they mostly double down on the invented lore instead of fully returning to the intimacy.
Why?
Episode 7, The Black Spot, flashes back to 1908 for the human Bob Gray, a down-on-his-luck carnival performer as Pennywise the Dancing Clown, mourning his late wife with tragic family life and sharing that haunting, silent periwinkle-tinted show with his daughter Ingrid. It's genuinely unsettling and heartbreaking, showing a loving father slowly lured away and consumed by the entity because his act draws kids in so perfectly. I actually love this tragic backstory. It adds this layer of dread, knowing that if Pennywise spots something he likes in your performance, he will take it.
Give me a hell yeah!
no matter if you're an adult or a kid. It makes the clown form even more predatory and inevitable, twisting something innocent into eternal nightmare fuel. The Black Spot fire itself is devastating. The racist arson on the Black Soldiers Club. Gut-wrenching sacrifices like Rich sealing Marge in the icebox to save her from smoke, whispering about pictures that last longer. The performance carried the tragedy hard, but it gets tangled with converging military digs, kids grieving, and Ingrid luring victims thinking she's helping father. The military melting a containment pillar to weaponize it? Dramatic, but it bends canon and wakes Pennywise early in a way that feels forced. The finale, Winterfire, unleashes full chaos. Thick, icy fog, blanketing Derry. Clown rampages with long line of entrance kids floating in the air above the frozen river as he pulls his wagon across the ice. A terrifying school assembly where Skarsgard finally chews massive scenery. Some kills are legitimately nightmarish. The frozen showdown, epic on budget, but the resolution? The kids wield a glowing dagger shard, performing a ritual to repair the ancient cage MacGuffin. To repair the ancient gate. MacGuffin inserted. Entity sealed for another 27 years. Dick Halloran amps his shine to absurd superhero Super Saiyan levels.
Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his power level? It's over 9,000!
Mentally halting Pennywise in his tracks. Sure, the Kingverse connection is canon, but no human ever throws the entity like Professor X. It undermines how primal and unstoppable it should feel. Pennywise taunting about existing outside time, targeting lineages to erase future threats. It adds scheming layers but makes him less a force of nature and more of a failing time villain. The epilogue nods to the movies with cameos. Derry resets, cycle continues, and hints at a backward season for the planned trilogy. The young cast is phenomenal. The emotional beats land. Visuals shine and burst, and a few deaths do crush. But overall, the show turns King's simple, terrifying monster, feeding on fear amplified by a complicit town ignoring kids, into a spectacle of military shootouts, glowing artifacts, ice battles, and team-ups. We didn't need explained origins, wards, psychic heroes, or time bends. It dilutes the dread.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Welcome to Derry had Pennywise at its core and sidelined him for lore that weakens the mythos. The early episodes are gold. Watch those. Maybe jump then to the Black Spot for the highs. Otherwise, stick with rewatching Chapter 1. I personally think you will float way better there. What do you think? Did the finale redeem it for you? Or are we sinking in the same boat? Be sure to like and comment down below. And be sure to subscribe so I can catch you again next time.